Hey everybody, it's Stuart with Wine on the Diamond. Today I'm going to be looking at the Host Twist Wine Aerator. This is something that one of my viewers a long time ago recommended I should get because they said it really helps them and they like to take it with them whenever they go out to wineries and stuff. So the way it works is it has different kind of twist settings for intensity of aeration. So one of the things that they kind of show is this chart right here. So as you can see, it has everything from slight aeration to extreme aeration, and it kind of recommends at which level each wine should have in order to be aerated. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this thing out. So they have the little user guide. It talks about what is aeration. They talk about how it works, what types of wines need to be aerated at which intensity levels, and then also they have more products that they're trying to sell to you, which, I mean, cool. Now let's take a look at this thing. So this is the actual aerator itself, and it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, as a matter of fact. Like, I thought this thing would have a little bit more of a streamlined profile. So a little plastic cover on the bottom, plastic cover on the top, where all the metal is to keep it nice and shiny, and just kind of sits in there. I guess you can take it with you whenever you want to go places. Now, in terms of the twisting mechanism, the twisting is actually very smooth. I didn't know if this would be kind of like a clicky type twist where you can kind of feel it notch or not. This is just super smooth all the way through. And I will admit, I'm not seeing how this adjusts based off of twist. Like, I'm not seeing any sort of mechanism which would actually like deepen the bowl. Yeah, so this is breaking my brain a little bit because, like I said, I'm not seeing anything actually modifying the throughput of this. Huh. Interesting. So I guess the only way we're gonna know if it actually works is, let's open a bottle of wine and try it out. However, though, before we do that, what I want to do is I want to take this and compare it to standard decanting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half a bottle of wine and I'm gonna run it in my normal decanter, my just plain glass decanter. I'm gonna let it go for 4 hours. Then I'm gonna stick that other half of the bottle through here and make sure it works. So I know what y'all are saying is, oh, you're going to have air in with the bottle after you open it, even if you just put a cork back in. Yeah, no. I bought a vacuum pump just for these experiments with these wine aeration units. So I'm going to use it. After it's poured, I'm going to vacuum pump and close that bottle, and it will not be opened again until it's time to pour it through here. So yeah, I guess let me just go get this wine prepped and I'll see y'all back in like 4 or 5 hours. All right, so I've had this wine, or I should say this wine, in this decanter just sitting out in the air for 4 hours now. I'm going to try it, and then I'm going to take a look at the Host. Now, using the product guide on the side, it says Syrah is 3 hours, Merlot 4 hours, Bordeaux 5 hours. This is a 76% Syrah, 24% Cabernet Sauvignon. So I'm gonna put it to 4 for Merlot, which actually will match how long this has been here. You would think that was part of my planning for this test, but I just picked 4 hours as an arbitrary number. So I'm really glad it worked out like that. Anyway, so let's take a look at this wine. All right, so on the nose. So, ooh, it's a little bit high on the alcohol here. It's 14.5% ABV for that wine. So we've got high alcohol, getting, I would say probably moderate secondary, like a medium intensity on the secondary, medium plus intensity on the primary. There's a good amount of black fruit in here. There's also a little bit, I'm getting some vanilla. Let me blow off this alcohol. So in case you haven't seen some of the other product reviews that I've done, this is actually a trick I learned from a master of wine. If you blow at the lip, like you're blowing into a flute mouthpiece where you kind of let the air skim over the top, it creates a convection underneath and it kind of helps blow that alcohol out fairly quickly. But it doesn't disturb the wine. There we go. So yeah, I'm actually getting a little bit of chocolate on this. So vanilla, chocolate, a touch of black pepper, That did help. Man, but swirling it around really opens that alcohol again, man. So this aeration didn't really do much for getting rid of the alcohol in this wine. How does it taste? Okay, so I would say the tannins probably went from medium plus to medium. Tannins have softened. There's a good amount of that secondary, but that acid is still there. So there's a lot of dark fruit, high acid, and then the secondary characteristics, I would say probably about medium, almost medium plus on the secondary characteristics there that I was talking about, that chocolate, that vanilla, that black pepper. Aeration did change it. This wine itself, when you open it straight from the bottle, it has a lot of primary elements, a lot of dark fruit, a hint of red. It has a ton of tannin. It also has a little bit of that black pepper and a little bit of vanilla, but you don't get any of that dark chocolate note. And it really is like you have to really move it around in your mouth a lot before you get it when this wine is freshly opened. So this did open it up. Letting it sit there for a while did help. Now, let's unseal this thing and run it through a 4-hour aeration on the host. For the host, in order to get it to the right level, all you have to do is just turn this right here. And I want it at 4 hours. If I want to be precise because of the prep in this video and everything, I'm gonna say 4 hours and 15 minutes. 4 hours and 15 minutes. Precision matters, people. This is scientific. No, totally. Okay, so one thing I can say that in terms of a design perspective, and I'll get to this later, I don't necessarily like the fact that I'm going to be putting this right back here because now it's going to drip out the bottom into the stand. Like, I kind of wish it would either fit in here so it drips back into the bottle. I don't know, maybe I'm just really picky. I've reviewed a lot of products this month or so, so I'm just being picky now. Let's just get on to the nose. So from the nose, so it has about the same intensity on the nose. That alcohol is not present though. I mean, I don't have to do any of that kind of blow off the alcohol trick. I'm getting straight, now it does smell very similar to this. So I am getting more of those secondary elements. I'm still getting that primary, that kind of those black fruit notes with a touch of red fruit, but I am getting a lot more secondary. Noticeably, the vanilla and chocolate are a lot stronger than they were just drinking it straight from the bottle. The black pepper doesn't feel like it's as strong as this though. You know what? Yeah, there's more pepper in this. Yeah, there's more pepper. The other secondary elements are, I'd say like maybe like 20% more intense. The black pepper is like 30% more intense in here. I don't know if that matters to you, but if you're a black pepper fan and your Syrah Cab mixes from Australia, then maybe that matters. How does it taste? Tannins are super soft. And I say that about 10 seconds too early because then they pop back in on the finish. But they're still not rough. And they're noticeable on the finish. So when it hits the approach, this wine itself tastes soft. Has a good amount of acid. Those black fruit notes are really there. The secondary comes out on the mid palate. The tannins, still just very soft. And then as it goes into the finish, that's when you kind of start feeling the tannins come back in. Comparing it to this, it's water, by the way. Tannins hit right up front. This still has so much tannin. And yeah, the tannin's right all the way through. That pepper is there, not tasting as much of the vanilla and chocolate. I prefer this to that. Like, this is way better. Still a lot of acid. Tannins are so much more well-rounded. This wins in this comparison right here. I'm telling you right now, that wins. Now, just because these two things win doesn't mean that this is a great product. We have to actually give it a score here. This is wine on the dime after all. Now, I can't use Blick, which is balance, length, intensity, and complexity, because I saved those for wines. So what I am going to do instead is use DEAM, which is design, engineering, ease of use, and maintenance, maintainability. I haven't really figured that last one out, exactly what it is, but you know what, trademark, because I haven't heard anyone else say this yet. YouTube, I've been using this. This is the first, so people can't use it. That's copyright. Just shoot me an email if you want to use it. I'm pretty cool about it, but you have to give me reference. Sidetrack. So let's get into this design. So from a design perspective, I think that the design of the aerator itself is pretty nice. This is a super fluid motion right here. It has a nice resistance so you can dial it in, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna pop off or do anything weird. The aerator itself is fairly simple to use. It has a nice weight. Though it is plastic, I do like the fact that it kind of has a nice clear plastic, like it's a high quality plastic, and I do like the silver finishing on it because gray is my favorite color and silver's pretty darn close. Now, with that being said, I don't know how much of a fan of I am with the base, because if you can look here, there's some pooling inside the base. And that's because this sat there and pooled. So if I was going to be using this, what I would probably do is stick a paper towel, like wad up some paper towel in there so it could wick it in as it's pulling it. And then if I was going to be using a different wine, rinse it through, replace the paper towel. So there is a little bit of things that I would have to do with that, just for how picky I am. However though, in terms of just overall design and the fact that you can throw it back in the package fairly easily and do what you need to do with it, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a full point. So in terms of engineering, it's solid. I don't feel like it's gonna break, and it doesn't require batteries. Full point. So in terms of ease of use, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a full point. I mean, you dial it in, you pour the wine, you're done. This stuff down here, I'll get to in the maintenance. So speaking of that, maintenance, it's gonna be really easy. You just run soapy water through it, clean it out, run clean water through it, really flush it out well, make sure you're good to go, and you're done. The thing that's gonna be iffy is this right here. I mean, this is fairly easy to clean, it's just a plastic base. The only time this is gonna be a problem is if you're trying to swap back and forth between wines while you're doing the same thing. You're just gonna have to make sure you're rinsing it with water in between all the wines and kind of shaking out the excess water. But other than that, you're pretty good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you a full point. In the end, I'm gonna give this very good. So I'm gonna just throw this into my bag and say, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy this whenever I'm at a winery and I'm either gonna go through my pouring or enjoying a bottle of wine on site, and I'm just gonna use it simply because that's what it's designed for. It's designed to be easy. It's not designed to be overly complicated, but sometimes some of those other products have a really good use too. So I can't knock them, but what I'm getting out of this is that this is probably like the thing I'm taking with me when I go traveling now. Anyway, this has been Stuart with Wine on the Dime. If you like today's product review, please like, subscribe, and comment. Have you tried the Host Twist Wine Aerator? I'd be interested to know if you have. Leave a comment below, and I'll see you all again soon with another wine product review or wine review from Wine on the Dime.